Hello, and good evening. How are you doing? Hopefully pretty okay. What the hell's going on here? Basically doing that whole thing with the Bode now. So that's gonna be the Oz fight in this one, I think. I think Syria's already dead, though, so, oh, you know, no one's really saved there. Let's see. Okay, well, I'm pretty sure she's dead in this route anyway. Not that Steve cares. Darling me on, I'm just gonna go Steve now. Okay, we are getting very close to that 30 wall, though. So, expecting that to become an issue. Basically, that's why I'm blitzing story stuff and not trying to get a 10th member, or 11th member, or 12th member. Because frankly, staying overpowered for a little bit is good, but as soon as we hit that wall, it's gonna be time to run into Farampa and basically try to get another member. People are gonna start scaling, and it'll be good to take some easy fights, get some better equipment, that sort of thing. Now, I'm counting on their speed being able to get them into relatively better positions. They're probably still gonna end up in pretty crap ones anyway, but I'm putting everyone kind of scattered about for this one. Just because the usual thing of these front guys are probably going to get stuck right there. I'm going to have to put everybody else over on that side and seeing whoever I can to go around this side. Where I put my other crossbow, but it probably was the wrong place. I think I probably could have taken a crossbow shot there. There we go. Yeah, there might be a whole lot of these in pretty short succession here because kind of planning to go on a trip pretty soon. So, would be good to have a whole bunch of these in the pipeline as things go. Also, it's a little bit funny. So I end up kind of alternating between armored core stuff and tactics ogre stuff. And I don't know what it is, I think the Armored Core folks always seem to get offended, or at least a few of them from, like, a couple particular places seem to, when I put up anything that isn't AC. And I kind of wonder if it's because this series kind of has a long-running thing of just basically getting abandoned all the time. It's kind of a weird thing, because, like, seriously, every time I go and I put out, like, 10 or 20 AC things in a row, and then, like, one Tactics Ogre thing comes out. I'm like, no! It's over. Got deleted again. Oh, man, that poor series, though. It really deserves better. Can't believe that, it's been this long, and they still haven't proved anything there. Dang it. Wait. Okay, so, Dark Souls took off, right? And it's literally just Dark Souls with mechs. That's... mechanically, that is exactly what it is, and you'd think that that kind of thing would be, taken off all over the place. Hell, somebody even tried to cash in on that idea. I forget who exactly did it. I want to say it was the same people that did the last, it's just like Dark Souls, but not really, kind of clone, the Lords of the Fallen or whatever. Nice. But no, I want to say it was those guys that tried to actually do, like, Dark Souls mechanics with just mechanically augmented people. Which, I don't know, I saw that and immediately wondered, I wonder if somebody tried to describe Armored Core to them, and they tried to copy that without ever even taking a single look or something? Because, yeah, that AC is more like Legos. Really, that's how they should have advertised it. Like, you liked Legos as a kid, you will like this. Like, you built Lego stuff and smashed it together, or, like, in my case, I had this whole setup going on with, like, having rough estimates of distance that were decided by dice and making it a whole turn-based thing, and you rolled dice for how many shots you got off of whatever weapon, and, like, you had your machine gun thing, so that was rubber ends of pencils, or you had missiles, and those were those, like, little heavy marbles. Or you got these, like, laser things, and those were lighter marbles. Man, it was good times. Somebody really should just remake AC that way. Like, it's been joked about several times that it would make a really good strategy game. This is literally what they did. They basically just took... They created tons and tons and tons of different machines and whatever, gave them all these different limitations and specifications and all this other stuff, and then basically used them all once and threw them away and then remade them again in the next one. They did this over and over again. It's a series that cannot stop reinventing itself every 5 seconds. Like, they had 3, Silent Line, Nexus, Last Raven, and Ninebreaker. Well, I guess arguably Formula Front 2. That were the only ones that were like, okay, let's just build on what we have instead of restarting it yet again. And then they just immediately went back to that, like to explain that whole thing there. So, the one that people played the most are familiar with, was the old AC1 demo. And, yeah, so it starts off with, you know, AC1, so... like, pretty basic mechs in a post-apocalyptic setting and all that. Although surprisingly modern. It's like, it's a rebuilt post-apocalypse. Kind of like, maybe give a few decades, or like 100 years on something like New Vegas, that kind of general idea. I love that setting. Like, the whole post-apocalypse thing. Like, everything got completely jacked up, but hey, you know, we figured out new stuff. But yeah, so... what they end up doing is, yeah, it's just this post-apocalypse exciting thing, and you're just going around doing jobs and whatever, and then finally this machine thing starts showing up every now and then, trying to mess you up, and it turns out the thing just shows up every time somebody just gets to be, you know, too strong in one manner or another, and you're basically going along and not getting killed off like most of the other randos around. Like, yeah, no, delete. So, yeah, then it's just like fighting this machine from then on out. And then you beat him, and then he's like, no, actually, you didn't, because, you know, upload myself somewhere else. And you do that over and over until you find his computer eventually. And it's kind of funny, because then they had 2 sequels. One of them was called Phantasma, another one was Master of Arena. And MOA was basically that whole shtick of redoing, fighting that same guy over and over, except they made an entire game out of it. Like, he just literally keeps coming back and harassing you over and over and over. Like, nope, not really dead. I was only kind of sort of dead a little bit. Because, yeah, he just gets all pissy and starts going around causing chaos. And then Phantasma's like this... basically this guy that wants to become a machine. But, point being, it was all about the fights. Like, the one-on-one fights were really the meat of it. You had, you know, your thing versus little robots and all these cool maps and scenarios and everything in it. It was really cool. The map design was really solid. The music was really good. But for some reason, beyond that first one, they just couldn't market it worth a crap. So, anyway, the first one does pretty well, though, so they end up, you know, end up making a second one, or just a number 2, that's technically a number 4, for the PS2 when that comes out. And that does amazingly. Like, a bunch of people try it, and they love it, and they took all the same stuff, except they added extensions on the shoulders, and I forget if they added inside part. I don't think they added inside part. I don't mean insides like internals. Like, you basically always had a generator-radiator combo. Or no, you had just a generator and FCS in the first ones. Then the second one introduced generator, radiator, and FCS, which is just basically your energy output, your cooling, and your ability to lock onto stuff, which kind of varies based on different situations. Your internal computer, pretty much. That's what an FCS is. But okay, so they start putting cool new stuff there. They have even arguably better music on that one. They expand on pretty much every aspect of it, but they completely redo all the parts, so they have to completely remake them, and that was understandable. You know, they were jumping generations and all that. They got all this new graphical stuff they can work with. They've got some money from the Asian side of things, so they want to try and make it work. They're like, man, the Western audience is gonna love giant robots. They love that kind of thing. And they keep trying, and people do, but then they never buy them. I don't know. One of those strange things, but... So AC2 actually does get marketed and actually sells like hotcakes for a while. Then they make an expansion for it, then they forget to pay their marketing department, because that thing doesn't even get mentioned. Like, literally the only time I found out about it was in the used bin of a friggin' Hollywood Video. Because, yeah, they... No, wait, actually, I think I rented it a few times, and then I was the only one renting it, so they let me know about it when it went into the used section. And then I actually didn't end up getting there on time, because they ended up going out of business or something, I think. I don't know, it's been a while. But... anyhow. So that... I end up finally getting to try that one completely a few years later. And it winds up being really good. It's weird because it's one of those sequels that was kind of just like a dumpster of all kinds of different ideas that they clearly didn't get into the first one. Like a bunch of characters that really shouldn't be there in places where they shouldn't have been, or, you know, a plot that makes no sense whatsoever because you're basically doing the same scenario 3 times from different perspectives. Which is cool. I mean, the thing was basically an idea dump, which, well, I personally love those, but it wasn't exactly for everyone. So, they forgot to advertise it. It didn't end up getting a whole lot of attention, so whatever. 3 comes out, sequel to that one, once again remakes all the parts, and instead of going for, like, the happy, colorful setting, they go for a way grimmer setting, you know? They went for way more identifiable parts on everybody, they added some new systems, and they were pretty much rehashing what made the first ones good, which was amazing because they did it much better in my opinion. Because yeah, instead of giving a face to this machine thing, it was just the thing, it was just the controller, this thing that ran everything. And so, you know, people were not exactly scared of the thing. They're like, well, the thing's basically an automated government, so what's the problem? Any dang ways. So, it did a bunch of cool stuff, added a bunch of extra, you know, arenas and stuff, like a doubles arena and stuff like that. And, yeah, played it safe, played it awesome. Personally, it's just my favorite one. They make a sequel to that one, which basically just ups everything to 11. Which was an interesting start, because they started you off with, like, the crappy versions of all of the parts, like the stuff that nobody ever used, with the justification of, yeah, there were, you know, after the whole everybody going to war thing, and then everybody went out of their underground bunker and above ground, were a bunch of restrictions placed on stuff, so everybody's dealing with crappy things for a while. You know, if all that stuff comes back, don't worry, you'll get those parts later, in case a giant, you know, worldwide event leaks out, or a little localized conflict, hint hint. So, they end up doing that. You know, it's a cool way to approach it. You got people to try stuff that they otherwise might not have. Alright, I think it's time to dump kill moves on this guy. Whoa. That is... Okay, I just want to test this, because I want to see how good it is. Yes! That is fantastic. They've got a mass comeback move. So anyhow, yeah, they, you know, they see that people like that one. Oh, you dick. Blocking stuff like an a-hole. So they see people like this one. You know, they make that sequel, and once again, completely forget to advertise it, because that's just what they do best. And then they decide that, hey, it must not have sold well because people are tired of the formula. They really weren't, but... you know, the fact that they kept forgetting to advertise apparently just was giving misinformation or something. So, yeah, they go and they remake it, kind of, again. Like, they kept the same look and the same parts and everything, but this was several decades down the line and everything had just changed. Like, personally, I actually had a really long a theory video out on it a while ago, since there's no official, like, canon reason for it. I just figure, you know, they probably ran out of a lot of the materials that they used to make before. Maybe they ran into sort of economic decline or whatever, because suddenly everything was worse. As in everything was just worse at what it would attempt to do. You know, you get weapons that you're picking up with like half their ammunition count that they had before, or in one case a third of it. Yeah, you were basically just starting to overheat from just moving and that kind of thing, which was never a factor before. And, you know, it didn't go over well. That one had the best music, it had some really cool remake stuff. Oh, there we go, he's running away. But yeah, so it had probably the best music in the series, but the heat mechanics scared a lot of people, and then they made another one that was kind of just, you know, people were wanting more arena stuff and wanting more parts testing and things like that. Ooh. Haven't seen this cutscene in a while. What have they done? Well, they killed everybody, obviously. How is she fine? Hold on. Looking for some lady. And then she joins, which I don't think she's needed, but screw it. Gonna have her off in the background here. I don't know. Maybe Steve wants a concubine or something. I don't know. That's messed up. But no. So they, yeah. So they redo the series again. You know, they go for this art testing thing, which didn't go over well because nobody knew what the hell was going on. They went for this other one that was just like a bad ending to the series. Which was really cool mechanics-wise, but apparently written by somebody who was drunk. Anyway. I think that's enough ranting about that one for now. Long story short, they remade it a bunch. Anyway, see you next time.